Great job, everybody who was at the game yesterday. It was organic. It was real. Chanting for Shohei Ohtani to come to Seattle. And it sounded good. You could hear it loud and clear on the broadcast. Everybody noticed it. And apparently so did Shohei. He heard it. He said it was cool. He thought it was great. And then he said that he's actually spent quite a bit of time here in the offseason, living here in a couple of different off seasons. So it couldn't hurt. We know that. There's no downside to this. Does it give you any hope whatsoever that he could end up a Mariner after next offseason?
I want to believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, and I think we've got on fairly good accord, the Mariners were in the running last time.
Yes.
I mean, I think they were on the medal stand. Gold, silver, or bronze.
Yeah, I mean, I've also heard that all of that was a show, that he was always going to Anaheim and everything else was a show. But by all accounts, the Mariners made a legitimate, real run at it. They thought they had a chance, right? They made the whole presentation and worked really hard at it. And unfortunately, he decided that he wanted to go to Anaheim.
I'm going to, and this is just total speculation, no insight, because I think most of these people, even right now, don't have a tremendous amount of insight because there's baseball season left to play and because of the last time this whole process went through. But I'm going to imagine you're at least on the medal stand. I would think that the Mariners, being a West Coast team, the background with Ichiro, I think some of the resources they do have, the connection to the Pacific Rim, they do have. The fact that he has spent off seasons here, he's played against this club and this team, and I think you've got a shot. I doesn't strike me as a New York kind of guy, and maybe I'll be dead wrong on that. But Yankees, Mets, that whole deal, it just doesn't.
I mean, he didn't choose it the last time around,
correct.
So obviously, that means something. Now, one thing that we heard the other day, and it was a really good point, was that Buster Olney said this, that the last time, Brock, the National League teams had a huge disadvantage. Correct. They didn't have a DH at the time. Now they do. That brings the Dodgers a little bit more in play. You mentioned the Mets, but the Giants would probably be even a bigger one. And if he wants to stay on the West Coast, Dodgers and Giants have both won fairly recently, right? And organizations that are very, very famous and are from New York.
Yeah, those are my three. I think that those are the three that are going to be the most active. And right now, I would think that the Dodgers are the front runner, and they have, for their cap space or their salary, they've actually freed up some of it, and I think set it aside to go all guns a-blazing. And I think that that's going to be the most difficult challenge.
The Dodgers?
Yes.
Yeah.
San Francisco and in that ballpark and that stadium and that history. And you're right, they've been winners, but I think it's going to be those three on the West Coast that are going to be vying for it.
I think he's going to be a Dodger. That's just been my feeling all along, is that he doesn't have to move far. He gets to upgrade organizations. He gets to play in the oldest ballpark on the West Coast in that environment. And you say star power. Maybe he doesn't want to be a quote unquote star like that. But to be on a big deal team and the respect that the Dodgers get and the crowds that they draw and the interest that they get in that town, I think, and just that organization with the amount of money that they're capable of spending and generating and what they've done to actually take advantage of it, right? With a Tampa Bay kind of system being run by Andrew Friedman and what he brings in terms of talent. To me, it seems like that's where he's going to go. Yep. But if you're the Mariners, you have a couple of interesting points of view, a couple of perks and things in your favor. The idea that this is such a pitching-heavy park as opposed to hitter's park might not hurt you because he's also a pitcher, right? You mentioned earlier that you've got the two sides of the coin thing. Well, all right, yeah, he maybe won't hit as many home runs here, but it should absolutely help him as a pitcher, right?
Yep, 100%.